سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ما جعلنا القبلة التي كنت عليها إلا لنعلم من يتبع الرسول ممن ينقلب على عقبيه وإن كانت لكبيرة إلا على الذين هدى الله ما كان الله ليضيع إيمانكم إن الله بالناس لرؤوف رحيم. قد نرى تقلب وجهك في السماء فلنولينك قبلة ترضاها فول وجهك الشطر المسجد الحرام وحيث ما كنتم فولوا وجوهكم شطره وإن الذين أوتوا الكتاب ليعلمون أنه الحق من ربهم وما الله بغافل عما يعملون. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. So continuing with the narrative of the changing of the Qibla. So in these ayats, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning the anticipation of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam for the change of the Qibla from Bayt al-Maqdis to the Kaaba al-Musharrafa. قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that we see your continuous, turning towards the sky in anticipation of the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to change the Qibla, which points or alludes to the fact that Nabi alayhi salatu was actually anticipating because he was informed that it is going to be changed and that he was permitted to actually ask and request from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to actually change the Qibla. And so he was waiting for that order to come, and therefore he was, observing, the sky, waiting for Jibreel alayhi salam to come and give that order. فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first of all says, yes, we observe your anticipation and now we are going to fulfill your anticipation. فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا. So we are going to now, we give you the order to turn, and we are going to give you the order to turn towards the Kaaba al-Musharrafa. فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ الشَّطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. So therefore now it is the order that you should turn your face in the direction of the Masjid al-Haram. وَحَيْثُ مَا كُنْتُمْ فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَهُ. And wherever you happen to be, so turn your face towards the Kaaba al-Musharrafa in the while you're offering your prayers. Take the Kaaba al-Musharrafa as your Qibla and face in that direction. وَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ لِيَعْلَمُونَ أَنَّهُ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ. And those who have been given the book before you, they know that this is definitely, this changing of the Qibla, it is definitely, without doubt, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is from your Lord, and from their Lord as well. أَنَّهُ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ. It is definitely the truth which has come from the Lord of Muhammad and their Lord as well. Alayhi salatu wassalam. وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا يَعْمَلُونَ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not neglectful or unaware of what they have been doing. So there's a number of issues here. Number one, as we mentioned, that Nabi alayhi salam was in anticipation of that order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which means that probably there was indication that that was going to take place, and therefore he was actually asking for it and anticipating it. And secondly, the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not that you must face the Kaaba al-Musharrafa directly. Moreover, that you must face Shatr al-Masjid al-Haram. Shatr means basically the direction. It also means half. Shatr al-Iman, at-Tuhur Shatr al-Iman, you probably would have heard that hadith. Tuhur, cleanliness is half of Iman. So here, Shatr is meaning the direction. Shatrahu, direction. So the direction of the Masjid al-Haram. So those who are in Makkah Mukarramah, they actually see the Masjid al-Haram. So the Qibla is for them that they have to actually be facing the Masjid al-Haram. They may actually have been facing the Kaaba al-Musharrafa or not, but they must be facing the Masjid al-Haram, which gives a tawsiya, that gives a larger scope and leniency for those who are there right in Makkah Mukarramah, and further leniency for those who are outside of Makkah. For those who do not see the Masjid al-Haram, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, in the direction. Had He said Masjid al-Haram, we would have to be, spot on. But He says in the direction, which, as we know, the Sharia is a Sharia for everybody, everywhere, for every time, with or without any type of facilitation or um, infrastructure or means of guidance, that would be very accurate. For example, in those days, they didn't have compasses, they didn't have, the astronomical tools that we have today, and that's not necessary. And Sharia is not based upon the calculation using such very specific means or very delicate, instruments. Otherwise, it'd be very difficult for the poor fellow living out in the desert or living on the mountaintop. I mean, he has not the wherewithal to do so. So Sharia has been sent, the Sharia to Samha. It is a very easy and practical Sharia. So all we have to do is understand basically where is the direction. For example, for Ahl Medina, Nabi alayhi salatu says, Al-Qibla bayn al-Mashriq wal-Maghrib, bayn al-Maghrib wal-Mashriq, or bayn al-Mashriq wal-Maghrib, al-Qibla. So between the east and the west is the Qibla. In other words, in the southern direction from Medina. So they didn't have to be, X amount of degrees. They had to be in the direction. So similarly, that injunction remains and it holds fast until today. So therefore, these very delicate calculations are not the as we say, the mizaj of Sharia. They're not the temperament of Sharia. Sharia is easy. It's made easy for everybody. You don't need all these sophisticated instruments to figure out the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we need to know basically which direction is Kaaba al-Musharrafa, Bayt Masjid al-Haram, Makkah al-Mukarramah. And so the ulama have come to this conclusion that basically the direction, which means you've got around 45 degrees, 45 to 48 degrees leeway, right or left. So you've got 20, 24 degrees to the right or the left. If you're within those bounds, you're facing the direction, and there's no need to get, uh, be hair splitting in these matters. Now, sometimes we have people, they find the qibla is off 2 degrees, and they get all bent out of shape. So that's not the case at all. The Sharia is not like that. You're basically in the direction that's fine, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. The last thing that we wanted to mention was that when the people have been given the book before, they know this is the truth from their Lord. How do they know this is the truth? Number one, they know that Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, as we've been saying right along, all along, and in so many instances, they know that he is the prophet who was sent to them. If he's the prophet sent to them, then whatever he says is not from himself. مَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. He speaks from the side of wahi, from revelation. One. Number two, they also know that abrogation, as we say, naskh, that was also in the Sharia. So they know this is also truth as well. Some even say that perhaps there was even a mention in their books that there was going to be a change of qibla in the last Nabi. Wallahu tabarak wa ta'ala. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu